Ladies and gentlemen, yes, this is your favorite show, Sports Unfolded, with your favorite hosts, Eric and Ron.
Hey, welcome to the best sports podcast on the planet, Sports Unfolded, where we cover all of the top sports stories that have happened this week. I am your host, Eric. My main man right over there, Ron. How are you tonight?
Getting ready for the weekend.
Getting ready. What a big weekend's coming up. We'll be talking about that.
I hope you didn't jinx them, too, by the way.
I didn't jinx anybody.
I won't say who.
Okay.
Because last week we did the Detroit Lion quarterbacks.
Oh, we
didn't go so well for them.
Not so well. Guess who still has more wins as a Detroit Lions quarterback in the playoffs? Okay. Wow. So we are live. We are Fan Interactive. If you are joining us live, please join the chat on either Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, or Twitter and give your comments. Let us know if you have any opinions about the topics we're talking about or if there's anything you'd like to talk about. As long as it's not politics or religions, we'd be more than happy to talk about it. I know. Shucks. Too bad. Hugo on. Thanks for joining tonight, Hugo. We are in the midst of a lot that is happening in the sports world, Ron. So whenever you're ready, if you're ready, I'm ready.
Oh, I'm ready.
All right. Well, let's get this party started with our leadoff story. And that is one NFL championship weekend. And it's here this Sunday. We're going to talk about both matchups, and we're going to talk about our thoughts on what we think we can expect. We will do our predictions at the end of the show, so stay tuned to the end to make sure you can give your predictions and get your name on our
over there is
chart.
the real Super Bowl.
That is a rigged. It could be, Hugo. I don't listen. A lot has to go in favor one way or the other for a team to really.
I mean, the evidence is just piling up. I mean, at times it looks brutal.
I
mean, phantom calls. I mean, there's been a lot for them to get there. Just saying.
Rob from Cranston, thanks for joining. Appreciate it. Listen, at the end of the day, it happens. Listen, there's not going to be a game that you go into that you don't think there's been a bad call or something that was a little. It's an inside joke with the Aaron thing. We need Buffalo to win. But again, listen, we could sit back, say New England was fortunate enough with a lot of different calls.
Yeah.
These things happen. It is a legitimate thing in the NFL. I don't think it's lopsided to the point where people are like, oh, Kansas City, they're just making up calls.
When the whole country creates memes for this.
But let me ask you this.
There has to be a point where they have to take a look at things, right?
All right, let me ask you this question. Being a Patriot fan, how many years did we hear it?
Yeah, but it seemed like, in the final, 5-6 years of Brady's reign,
Ron,
they were trying to get him out of the game.
They still talk about Spygate and taping practices and the first Super Bowl not being legitimate.
That's talking about them in a negative way, not trying to rig it for them. That they're trying to get rid of them. And I think this is
when a team is successful. Yeah, the problem is when a team is successful as the Chiefs are, and what they're trying to accomplish, people are going to say that there's things that listen.
But
you know the best example. No, Ron, I will give you the best example. I'm going to give you the best example. Michael Jordan. They eventually started calling it the Jordan rules. There were certain rules that applied to Michael Jordan that didn't apply to any other basketball player. And he would get all the foul calls. He never fouled out of a game. It was never a foul. It was a great defensive play on Jordan's part because that's what the league does. That's
get
what
it.
these leagues do. And that's
But
where
I
I
don't
say
feel as though with the Patriots it was like that. I don't feel that because for the longest time they were trying to get rid of him and finding any reason for it to be a negative. This case, like, I mean, it's every game they're getting a call at the end of the game that makes them win. And you've seen it last week. You saw it the final game of the season and all the way through the season. What I think could be possible, and I'm not saying it is, it could be that they want to erase the New England Patriots in the record books.
it could be the league.
And there's some merit into that. There is some things there that you can look at and you're like, well, the game against Vegas, for one, even if that was a false start, which they ended up calling, it should have been the Vegas Raiders ball, and they didn't get the ball. That's out there. That's out there. And then you look at all the calls throughout the season.
Yeah, I don't.
It's suspect. It's
I don't
suspect. And that's why people are going to this.
Yeah, absolutely. But listen, let's start in the NFC, and then we'll get more into the Kansas City Chiefs. But Commanders, the Washington Commanders at the Philadelphia Eagles. As we look at this game, big story is the Jalen Hurts injury. How effective can he be? Talking about a brace on that knee. Does that change anything in your thought process of this game?
I don't think it changes much. I mean, look, we don't even know if the injury is real. I mean, we know, the teams do some, fantasy listings of injuries just to keep the other team guessing, right? And you're really going to give it to Barkley anyway. I mean, they're going to win or lose on the legs of Saquon Barkley. That's what they're going to do.
Yeah,
and it's the right thing to do.
I will say this. Can Washington's defense slow Saquon Barkley? You're 100% right. 2 games, 324 yards, and 2 touchdowns in the postseason.
That's amazing.
Like, he is just on a pace. Think about rushing for over 2,000 yards in the regular season. Hasn't lost any steam there. Washington's defense isn't great.
No.
So if we look at it, Philadelphia's number 1 defense, Jaden Daniels, though, who's not playing like a rookie, 70% pass completion, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions in the postseason.
What a steal in that draft. What a steal. I mean, and consider where he was picked, it's a steal.
What do you think? The only other rookie quarterback they said ever to make the Super Bowl, Dan Marino.
Yeah.
And think about Dan Marino's career. Granted, never got to another Super Bowl and won one, but again, still a pretty good career.
It's terrible.
But if Hurts is 100%, or let's just say 90%, the Eagles' offense, their defensive talent, I mean, do you think Washington has enough to actually advance, Ron? Again, I'm not asking you for your pick.
Look,
but
I didn't think they were going to win last week. And here we are still talking about Washington, right?
Love Hurts.
I mean,
we went back on that one. That was when they played Green Bay, Hugo. Love Hurts. 2 quarterbacks.
I just think you can't. Look, there's just some players who have it, right? There's just some players that have that special thing. And we saw it with Tom Brady. Look, Patrick Mahomes has it. He just makes something happen out of nothing, and you count them out, and you count them out, and there they are. They're still there, right? And this kid's got that. I mean, I don't know if he's going to win the Super Bowl, but I give them a chance to win this game. I mean, I'm not going to doubt the kid. And
I agree.
As much as we look at somebody like Lamar Jackson and say he can't win it, this kid might win it.
Yeah, this kid has proven. And this will be the third game in a row on the road for the Commanders. And you can't say like home field. He's had no advantages.
No.
Detroit should have if you played 9 out of 10 times, I'd say Detroit probably beats him 9 out of 10.
But it's not the way it is.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about the big matchup then. Buffalo Bills at the Kansas City Chiefs. They have met 4 of the 5 past seasons in the postseason. Obviously, we know how this has gone.
Yeah.
Guess the biggest question for me, can Josh Allen finally get past Patrick Mahomes?
I sure hope so. And not because I dislike the Kansas City Chiefs, but I dislike the Kansas City Chiefs. But I really like Josh Allen. I think he has more pure skill than I think anybody at the position. And that includes Mahomes right now. I just think he's just the guy, and he can do it, and he's playing well enough to do it. I don't think Kansas City has a better team. But again, we talk about that thing, and we just found out Lamar Jackson apparently doesn't have that thing. Because sometimes it takes a little bit of luck. But sometimes it can go the opposite way. Like Lamar Jackson played his butt off in that second half. And he put him in a chance to tie. And it was dropped. If that's Patrick Mahomes throwing it to him, don't you think he has a little more luck on his side too? Then he would catch it?
Look, I agree. My fear is still Buffalo's defense, which is good, not great.
Yeah.
And you try to get in a shootout. Now Josh Allen presses, tries to do some things. He's been extremely good this season, not turning the ball over.
Been doing that.
Yeah, and he hasn't tried to force things, and he's making smart plays and decisions. But again, AFC Championship, 1 game to go to the Super Bowl, and you know how that weight starts to feel on your back.
When you walk out onto that field, it's going to feel different. And all the stuff that you say throughout the week or don't say throughout the week, it's different soon as you come out of that locker room.
A good example of this is the Tom Brady versus the New York Giants in the Super Bowl. Like the 2 times he lost, they were New England. Well, let me say, one of the times they were the far superior team. But yet it's that pressure and mentality when you're playing a certain team. And I don't know if Josh Allen has that feeling when he plays Patrick Mahomes, because in the regular season, there's no problem. He's proven he can beat him. Again, can Mahomes and that magic keep going? Can their defense? The key to this game, believe it or not, is going to be both teams' defenses.
I agree.
Can they make Mahomes uncomfortable? But then can James Cook have an impact, and Kansas City can't stop that? And now it keeps Mahomes off the field. I think that's the only shot Buffalo has. James.
Yeah, you gotta look at Kelsey, right? That's where they can hurt you. Now, if Buffalo can control that, if you can limit Kelsey's presence on the field, then you have people's attention. That's when it becomes real. And then if you have Cook going on their side, running the ball, which he can do, they went up against the number 1 run defense and won. It was close, but they won. And that's where the game is going to get won or lost, controlling Kelsey's presence and Cook's running ability.
Yeah.
That's where it is.
Yeah.
And those trenches are going to be brutal.
Absolutely. It's going to be up front. Yeah. Whoever can win that battle. Obviously, we'll make our predictions on these games at the end of the show. So stay tuned for that. Stay on so you can get your name on our prediction chart. We did put out a Facebook poll, Ron. So 62% favor the Eagles and 66% favored the Buffalo Bills to win that game.
I think it's wishful thinking.
Yeah, I think that's more of a hopeful, what people hope happens.
Yeah.
So again,
and I do as well, but I said this year I wasn't going to pick with my heart.
Listen, if he does, I'll do something Brady never did. All right, let's move on and talk some more NFL. This story just happened today, only a few hours ago. Pete Carroll has been named as the new head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. Was he their best choice?
He might have been their only choice. Because really, who wanted to go there? It is a circus, not unlike the Jets, but at least the Jets have talent. And here's a team that has basically has a new head coach for the last 4 years.
So since they've moved to Las Vegas, 5 new head coaches. So that's 2020. So there's more coaches than years. I think going to the Super Bowl logo colors, Eagles versus Chiefs. Yeah. That is a thing too. They say, the Super Bowl colors sometimes it's already pre-scripted, so the colors.
Look, nothing surprises me anymore.
It could be true. Pete Carroll brings stability to this organization. He brings
Washington and Buffalo.
He brings a guy in. They bring a guy in now that honestly isn't going to allow that locker room to get out of control.
No.
It isn't going to be run by the players. He's been there, done that, knows coaching.
Look, what you're going to get now is that if the season is a complete bust for the upcoming season, it's squarely on the players. It's squarely on the players.
Yeah, he's a very good coach, Ron.
Yeah.
170, 120, and 1 in his career. 11-11 in postseason, 1 Super Bowl championship, should have been 2. We could discuss that all day too. But listen, you get into a team, the 6th overall pick, $108 million in the in salary cap space. This gives them some move to get some players. I'm going to say this, and I throw it out there, and I heard 2 names that automatically bring stability to the quarterback position. First one, Kirk Cousins, because a lot of talk about him possibly being gone from Atlanta, and he wants to start.
It doesn't surprise me.
Right? Now you bring in a stable head coach, a veteran quarterback, so it's not this, revolving.
What's the other one?
You believe it or not, could we see a reunion with Russell Wilson?
Yeah.
Right? Russell Wilson is a gap quarterback. You get some talent now defensively to at least build that side of the ball, and then next year focus more on the offense.
Yeah, I can see both happening. So there are worse options. I think those 2 options can bring the team success if you fill the other holes.
Yeah, like you said, I don't expect this team to turn around and do what Washington did. That's like a 1 in a million thing. Washington, last year picked 2nd, and now we're 1 game from the Super Bowl. I'm not saying Wilson's not washed. I will say this:
washed up.
Yeah, it brings that team stability at the quarterback position, where at least it's somebody that understands the game, and you're not putting in these kids.
Brings in a leader on the field that they know has had success, and then the players can rally behind that player, that quarterback.
And now you get Pete Carroll's message from the quarterback to the locker room. So I don't know. I'm not saying Russell Wilson comes in and tears it up. And
you're not saying that.
No.
Yeah.
I just bring stability back with this organization. You actually look at them and say, hey, they're respectable.
Yeah, because they can draft a quarterback and have Russell Wilson tutor the kid.
Yeah. Listen, second round, third round.
That's a great option, to be honest with you. I think that might be the better option for them, because I think Russell Wilson can go in knowing that he's a placeholder, finishing out his career, and maybe starter for a year or two.
Think about
and
this.
Then can retire.
Did you that division? Andy Reid, Jim Harbaugh, Sean Payton, and now Pete Carroll. You're talking about some legends in the coaching ranks.
That is four of the best right there.
Right? That is insane. That part of it, AFC West. Good luck. What a poof. I would not want to be in that division.
And yet none of them can catch KC for whatever reason.
Yeah, right. I don't know. We'll see. All right. Let's talk about one more story in the head coaching ranks, Ron. Liam Cohen has finally agreed to become the Jacksonville Jaguars head coach. Very strange story here. Originally interviewed, passed the job up, decided that he was going to stay in Tampa, signs the highest contract for an offensive coordinator in the league. He was going to be the highest paid offensive coordinator in the league. The Jaguars call him back to fly him back out there as they fire their general manager, and then he accepts the job. Can this work, Ron? Can this work then? Do you feel like there's too much here for this to work?
Actually, it's quite the opposite. I don't think there's enough there for it to work. I'm sorry. I've never been a Trevor Lawrence guy. And, they brought in the quarterback guru to fix what
he was
destroyed.
His first year was good.
Yeah.
This is like not his rookie year, his first year under what's his name there? Who's that coach? I don't even remember now.
Yeah, I don't even know.
But if you look at it now, look at what Cohen did with Baker Mayfield. Like, I wouldn't have considered Baker Mayfield any different than Trevor Lawrence. Like, they're the same mold.
What's the chances that Jacksonville abandons Lawrence and maybe a trade with Tampa Bay?
I think the money wouldn't work. And I can't see, why would Baker want to leave? He's finally in a place where...
Because he's with the guy that got him to that place.
But, I mean, Tampa's been pretty good to Baker. I don't know. It could happen, but I think if he can do what he did with Baker, he can do it with Trevor Lawrence.
I guess I have less confidence in Trevor Lawrence than Baker Mayfield, believe it or not.
I'm more skeptical of the fact that you didn't want the job, then you take the job.
Well, that too.
And to me, it's like, are you really in this for the long haul? Or was this just like, okay, I didn't like that guy, so now I'm in. What happens when they bring the new GM in and things don't go so well?
Could be a Monty scene.
Right? So, I don't know. Number five pick in this year's draft. So they're going to get a player, $34 million in cap space. So they're going to have to figure out some things if they're going to try to work some players in from free agency. But I don't know. I listen, 4-13 last year. This is where this football has changed. The Washington Commanders were 4-13 last year.
If you have the cap space, you can change the whole landscape.
But I will say this. Do you think Dan Quinn, who's coaching the Commanders, is a great coach? When that hire happened, did you put him at the top and said he's going to turn that franchise around and get him to an NFC championship game?
No.
So anything's possible. If he can get something out of Lawrence, and tap some of the talent. The kid's not. He's talented.
He's in the
Ryan.
right division for that to happen.
Exactly, right? The Colts and Houston, who can't figure out if they want to win or not, they just fired their offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
After 2 seasons, and now all of a sudden, here you go again. Like, it's a mess. These teams are a mess. So you never know.
I think a team like that is too quick to fire somebody. Look, it happened, and they made the playoffs. So I think you ride it out and you try to put something else around the quarterback to make it happen. Or maybe you need a defensive piece. Like, to me, Houston firing anybody is ridiculous.
Yeah, I thought that was silly. And now CJ Stroud, here you go, right?
Now
New
he's back to square one.
Like, I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do there. Here we go again. All right, we're going to move on, though. Great NFL talk. Thank you for the comments, Hugo. If anybody else is out there and wants to talk NFL.
Oh, they're out there.
Right? Keep join the chat. Let us know, because we got a fun starting 5 coming up now.
If you jinx them,
don't worry about last week and the Detroit Lions starting 5 quarterback. This week, we are giving you our starting 5 Buffalo Bills quarterbacks in their history. And it's only from the Buffalo piece. So some of these quarterbacks played in other teams and had different records. It could have been great. Just from Buffalo.
Just Buffalo.
I
didn't get that memo last week.
I know, buddy. All right. We were winging it last week. Get it? Buffalo wings. Hey, and we are off to the races here on our starting 5. We always start with an honorable mention. I only have one. And it is the one. And I had a box of his cereal back in the day, and that was Doug Flutie, the Flutie
Flakes.
Flakes.
On your honorable mention?
Honorable mention with 21-9 as a Buffalo Bills starting quarterback.
That's what I'm saying. He should have been in your top 5.
Yeah, the rest of his numbers, though, weren't impressive.
No, but they were more impressive than some of these other clowns.
Yeah, I don't know, though.
I have 2.
You have 2 honorable mentions.
Yes, and it's really not that honorable.
Wow.
But I figured I'd throw Ryan Fitzpatrick on there. I felt bad for him.
Thanks for joining.
He was 20-33 as a Buffalo Bill. 20-33.
Who?
Ryan Fitzpatrick. It's awful. But I put him on there because of the beard.
I couldn't do it. Yeah, I wanted to. Dude.
I know you wanted
Magic, and I couldn't. Pete Carroll, then yes, Chakra, Seahawks fan. Pete Carroll.
Oh, Chakra, you just missed us talking about Pete Carroll.
Just missed it. So Ryan Fitzpatrick almost made it, but his record.
I have Drew Bledsoe as my first honorable mention.
Okay.
He went 23-25, but 55 touchdowns, 43 interceptions, 59.1 completion percentage. So not too bad.
I think we're gonna flip our 5s. Our 5s will probably be just that. So all right, let's get this starting 5 rolling.
Okay.
So at 5 for me, Drew Bledsoe, 23-25, 6th all-time in passing yards for the Buffalo Bills, believe it. 6th. He wasn't there very long. Was he 3 years, 4 years? 3 years.
3.
3 years. He's 6th all-time in passing yards.
Yeah, he played 48 games, Eric.
48 games, he's 6th all-time.
48 starts, I should say.
Isn't that crazy?
48 games. That's all he played.
That's crazy. So I put Drew Bledsoe at number 5.
Number 5, you probably have at number 4 then, Tyrod Taylor. Look, I look at his numbers. These numbers are pretty good. He went 23-20. It could have been better. 62.6% completion ratio. That's pretty damn good. You know, he had 51 touchdowns, 16 interceptions. That's fantastic. He did make a Pro Bowl, too. He made a Pro Bowl. That's important. But I had him at number 5. I thought he was pretty good.
All right. All right. At 4 for me, Jack Kemp, only man to win a championship for the Buffalo
Yeah,
Bills.
that's why I had him one step higher.
Granted, he's in the AFL, and he had 2 of them in 1964-65. 4th in wins all time, 4th in passing yards, 5th in touchdowns. He was 2-2 in the postseason, 43-31-3 in his career with the Buffalo Bills. So I went Jack Kemp at number 4.
Yeah, and I know why you put him at number 4 because of those interceptions and touchdowns. That's hideous, but it's a different game then. At number 4, I had Doug Flutie. I mean, 21-9 record, that's a winner to me. He should have been given more of a chance. 56.3 percentage completions, 47 touchdowns, 30 interceptions, 1 Pro Bowl, 1 All-Pro. He was an All-Pro.
Doug Flutie.
Number 4.
All right. At 3 for me, Joe Ferguson. 77 and 86 in his career.
What?
He's number 2 all-time in passing yards at 27,590. 3rd in touchdowns with 181 touchdowns. He was 1-3 in the postseason. Joe Ferguson.
I don't even have him anywhere on my list. In fact, I have a squiggle through his line on my page.
Okay.
Look, I mean, you have a losing record and you throw more interceptions than touchdowns. You're not making my list.
Started for a long time for them.
Yeah, I don't care. That's why. That's why he had 77 wins, because he was there forever.
Second all-time in
1-3 in the postseason, by the way.
Second all-time in passing.
Yeah, I don't care. He didn't make my list. Number 3, I have Jack Kemp. He would have been higher if it wasn't for the fact of those 77 touchdown passes and 132 interceptions. He would have been higher. Different game back then, but that's still a lot of missed throws.
Crazy.
But 4 Pro Bowls, 1 All-Pro, an AFL championship, like you said, and
2.
a Player of the Year for AFL.
2. Yeah, 2
No.
championships. 64 and 65.
That's not what it said on my thing.
Yep.
You only have 2 wins and 2 losses.
Oh,
You were 2-0 in one season for the postseason.
Listen, it really don't matter.
1.
All right, at number 2, the man who's starting right now, Josh Allen, 76 and 34. He's 3rd all-time in passing, 2nd in touchdowns, 195 touchdowns, 7-5 in the postseason, possibly 8-5 to 9-5, depending on how this season goes. But Josh Allen, the 2nd best quarterback in Buffalo Bills history.
I have him at number 2 as well. That could change this season. If he wins the Super Bowl, he's number 1.
All right, because I think we're going to have the same number 1. And that's going to be Jim Kelly. Jim Kelly.
JP Lossman.
Yes. It was a close. I debated on that one. 101 and 59, number 1 all-time in passing yards, number 1 in touchdowns, 9-8 in the postseason, but obviously 4 straight Super Bowls with the
and that's why he's there, right? That's why he's number 1. 4 straight Super Bowls. That is not an easy feat, you know. That's a very capable quarterback. Oh, excuse me. But it can all be washed out with a Super Bowl win for Josh Allen this year.
Yeah, no, absolutely. He'll do something that nobody else could do for Buffalo. That's win an NFL title. All right, that's our starting 5 Buffalo Bills quarterbacks. We'll see if we jinx another team this week. And then what we'll do is, Ron.
I forgot what was in there.
Hold on, though. I have an idea, Ron.
You have an idea.
I had an epiphany. We are now. Listen, you need anybody watching live right now.
Field television.
Field television. Remember that back in the day? I will say this, Ron. We are going to make the entire country happy. And this is how we're going to do it. If the Buffalo
Win the
Bills,
lottery?
if the Buffalo Bills lose, then we have jinxed Detroit. We have jinxed Buffalo. We
Next
will do
week.
the Kansas City Chiefs starting 5 quarterbacks for the Super Bowl and jinx them.
Right. I like that idea.
This is what
Hopefully
America
it's
wants.
not a jinx, though.
This is what America wants.
Yes.
So we can give it to you. So tune in to Sports Unfolded. If the Kansas City Chiefs win, we will jinx them as well.
If Buffalo does win this, then we'll have to do Buffalo again.
All right, Ron. Let us start talking about some other sports, and let's talk about the NBA and our Boston Celtics. Who do you blame for their recent struggles? What's wrong with this team?
I hate to say it, but it just looks like they're cruising.
It's almost like they're waiting to get to the postseason.
Yeah.
Right. And I hate that. I think they've got that championship hangover. I will say this. I am squarely putting a lot of blame on Joe Mazzulla because that is a coach and his responsibility to make sure the players don't lose focus, that don't look at the season and say, oh, it's not a big deal. You are not getting the number 1 seed. You are not getting home court advantage in the postseason the way it's going. You're 6 games, I think, 6 games already behind Cleveland.
Yeah, I believe so.
And, so I don't like what I'm seeing. And then I don't like the fact that all the things that we thought they had fixed last season with Tatum and Brown and the alphas and being dogs and being able to win games, I see them reverting back to what we were before the championship. And that is not a good thing because those players didn't win championships then.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put a call in.
Oh,
I'm going to call up Cher, and I'm going to have her go into the locker room and smack each one of them and say, snap out of it. I think that's about the only thing that could work right now. Because it's all on the players. They got the best team in the league. We know this. They have the best team. They just got to snap out of whatever they're doing right now. And I think it's because of those 3-pointers. It's almost I almost feel like they're trying to break a record every night.
Right. We knew it was going to come back to bite them. Joe Mazzulla's style of, if you shoot more threes and you make more threes, that doesn't matter how many twos the other team makes. Like, I don't know. They're not shooting. Listen, 48.7% shooting last year versus 45.7. At 3 percentage points down. It doesn't sound like a lot, but it is. And then 3-point shooting, 38.8 last season, 36.3 this season. They're shooting worse from 3. They're shooting worse overall. I think they had a stat. It was the first time that they were under 100 points last season. It only happened like 4 times. They're already at 5 or 6. Yeah. They've already had more losses at home this season than they did last season. Defensively, they're not where they were last year. And then you sit back and say, okay, well, Kristaps Porzingis was hurt. He's come back, and they still can't figure out the rotations and who's going to be the guy.
I think they're worse since he's come back.
5-5 in the last 10.
Look, I don't doubt that they're going to make a trade. I don't think that they're going to sit around and wait like their
what
hockey,
Yeah, but what do you trade?
Sisters are doing.
You know what I mean? There's not a lot to trade. Who do you trade and what do you get back? You're not trading Drew Holiday. You're not trading Derek White. You're not trading Tatum, Brown, or Porzingis. Pritchard had his best season.
Are you not doing that?
I can't see how that benefits your team.
Look, when you have a guy that's injured all the time, what's the benefits? When he's in, yeah, that's great. But when is he in?
The issue
Seriously,
becomes
when is
this,
he
Ron.
in?
You got to blame ownership now because they signed all these guys to top dollar contracts. It's not
Yeah.
going to be easy to move them anyway. And what does ownership do? They're selling a team. They don't care. They're going to leave the next owner with some big
This is the
decisions.
problem with all of this, right? So when it really comes down to, then we're pointing the fingers at the ownership, because if they don't care, that's going to trickle down. And the players know that they're for sale, because they're not looking at it like the team is for sale. They are for sale. And that is affecting those players, whether we believe that or not. That's what's happening here. It's the ultimate sale of the Boston Celtics.
Yeah.
And frankly, I think they're idiots for wanting to sell this team.
Yeah, like think about it. You just won a world championship. You sat back now and said that's what you wanted. You got it, and then the next thing you do is put them on the market.
Yeah, it makes no sense. Look, this screams Miami Marlins. It screams Miami Marlins. And it's affecting the players, and it's clear that it is.
It's like that girl you took to the prom that one night, and then you never talked to her again, Ron. Like you got what you wanted, and then you just let.
Don't point the fingers at me, because when you point, you got three more pointing back at you.
Oh, it happened 3 times with me. No, I will say that I think you're right when it comes to that ownership piece. These players are looking at it like, we just poured our heart and soul, got a championship for you, and we thought
Now
we were
you
gonna,
don't want us.
yeah, now we're gonna run this thing for a while, and it's like, no, see you later. That's not nice. See, aha. He knows. Hugo
How
knows.
is it my fault?
You did the prom thing. People believe it, Ron.
I didn't do anything. That's on you. Damn, man. You're like Kenny.
See, people know. Listen, they know, Ron. They can see it.
Hey, they don't know.
They can
Look,
see it.
I tell it like it is. That's why I lose Christmas cards every year. But I'm right about this. It has to be the ownership, and they're looking like they're not wanted. Like that's what they're playing like they're not wanted anymore, and they're just going through the motions. Cuz look, they're human. If it's you, like say Sports Unfolded doesn't want you, wouldn't you feel offended and not give it your all for that show?
Yeah, I guess I would. Yeah, absolutely. Why wouldn't I?
So they are human, and as much as they're gonna say no, we're just not playing well, that is a factor. You're like, if you're not wanted, you're just out of sorts.
So I guess my question would be, can it turn around? Can they turn it around this season? Because obviously the sale won't go through in enough time for them to, have a new ownership.
You know what I do if I'm Joe Mazzulla? I make them watch Major League.
What are they going to start taking off pieces of the suit?
I don't know, but I would make them watch Major League.
You get a Wick,
look,
a Wick
because
Grossbeck.
They are trying to sell you.
You get a Wick Grossbeck standee, and then you just start peeling off pieces of his suit.
Hey, you know what though? Wouldn't it work? Wouldn't it work?
I don't know. I don't know if those guys want to see that. I don't know. Maybe his wife. I don't know.
I'm just saying, because there's a lot of similar aspects to this. They want to sell it off, and what do you do when you want to sell a team? You start stripping it down, right?
Yeah.
Tell me that this team, if they don't sell it before the season's out, they're going to start trading away pieces. You know this, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right.
It's kind of sad.
We'll see if they turn it around after a blowout loss to the Lakers. Yes. To the Lakers.
Oh, please.
When it gets bad, and that's pretty bad.
When you lose to LeBron, yeah.
Oh, It's your guy. All right, Ron, let's talk some Major League Baseball. Hall of Fame has inducted
This is happy, right? This is a happy story?
I don't think so. I'm a little upset about this one. I know we're going to fight about this.
I don't know if we're going to fight about this.
They've inducted 3 new players into the Hall. CC Sabathia, Ichiro, Suzaki, and Billy Wagner. Did they get it right? I'd love to start this.
I'm not sure they got it right.
Okay, because they did not.
And
it's people like you. It's your fault.
Ichiro is...
I'm blaming you again.
A lock, right? Ichiro is in there.
Agreed.
The other 2, however, are really borderline, and they shouldn't have got in on the first shot.
Okay, first ballot. Well, Billy Wagner, 10. This was his final shot to get in.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Then I can...
This is a sympathy one
to me, but
so
I can understand it.
Okay, so Billy Wagner ranks 8th all-time in saves.
Yeah, not good enough.
Francisco Rodriguez ranks 6th. He didn't get in. He's on his 3rd. He got 10% of the vote. How does that make sense when the guy who has more saves than less saves didn't get in? Okay.
It doesn't, right?
On top of this, and I know what you're going to say, because if you give me this steroid thing again, I'm going to absolutely just rip you.
Well, you know I don't like the steroid guys.
I don't care. Andy Pettit
I don't care.
Is a better pitcher.
Is he?
First of all, he has more wins than CC Sabathia and 4 more championships. Yeah. Didn't get in.
And I understand your point.
Carlos
you don't
Beltran.
Care about the steroid thing. I do. But to me, the comparison should be against Curt Schilling.
Curt Schilling should be in. Andy Pettit should be in. You know who else should be in? And I know you're not going to like to hear this either, but he's better than Ichiro if you look at the numbers. Manny Ramirez. Manny Ramirez's numbers are they're better than Ichiro.
See, now that's even further because he's got busted twice. So I have no respect for that. I don't care. He doesn't get in.
No, the problem is this is why guys like Billy Wagner are getting in, because they refuse to look at these other guys, and these guys shouldn't have been in. Listen, Billy Wagner, very nice player. Congratulations. You are a role age reliever, 7-time All-Star, great ERA. But there's a guy ahead of you in wins and saves that didn't get in.
Right.
You didn't deserve it, but because
I agree with that.
Because they're putting all these other guys down, Ron, because they don't want to put them in. This is why you're getting garbage getting put in.
Eric, that is fine. If those steroids guys don't get in, is fine. But you can't put in people that don't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame.
You said it before. Tom Brady's getting into the Hall of Fame. He cheated.
Well, I actually don't agree with that, but that's okay.
He admitted it, took his 4-game suspension.
No, he didn't admit it.
He cheated. Then why do you take the suspension? He was taking it to the Supreme Court.
Because he had to get it over with. They won the Super Bowl anyway.
It doesn't matter, though. So do you count him in? It's legitimate?
I don't think that's cheating, to be honest.
Bill Belichick deserves to get into the Hall of Fame? Yes. Cheated.
You're trying to put things in the same
Lawrence
level
Taylor was
playing field, but it's not. It's more than It's more than cheating using steroids. It's more than cheating, Eric. It's more than cheating because you're cheating not only the game but the history.
You love Lawrence Taylor. Lawrence Taylor did cocaine during the games. Admitted it.
Okay.
Should he be in the Hall of Fame?
Probably
Is he still considered the greatest linebacker of all time? I've never heard you say it before.
Probably not.
It's all crap. It is a bunch of garbage. Baseball knew, baseball allowed it, and now all of a sudden they're going to come back and say no, and then we're going to get guys like Billy Wagner who don't deserve to get in. We're going to get a guy like Ichiro, and I'm not saying Ichiro's a bad player. Manny Ramirez's numbers, the guy hit 555 home runs. He had a better batting average.
Manny cheated the players.
More RBIs.
Manny cheated the players.
So
The guys that are in there had to do it a certain way, and this is why I don't agree with Bagwell going in.
He's in.
He shouldn't be.
Why? That's my point. If you
Popeye
let
arm.
one in, once they let one in, that's the problem. They don't want to let the floodgates
That's right.
go.
It is. And that's why
So we're going to keep getting guys
Eric,
that don't deserve it.
This is why we did our own Hall of Fame. Do you not remember? This is why. And look, we can draw the lines all we want. You know, whether they should or shouldn't. Baseball never gets anything right. They never get it right.
But it's because they're not changing, and you're having the same mentality.
I'm not changing because I don't like those guys in.
So
period.
You would have voted Billy Wagner over a guy like Manny Ramirez.
No,
you
I
have
wouldn't
to put somebody in. You have to. So that's what's happening.
Eric, you don't have to.
If they don't elect anyone,
10 votes, but you don't have to use all of them.
This is why these guys are. CC Sabathia, very good pitcher. Again, not better than Kurt Schilling, not better than Andy Pettit, but they're not going to get in. Andy Pettit, Kurt Schilling's not getting in.
Would have gone to Ichiro and Pedroia.
But I'll say this:
that would have been my vote.
Pedroia don't deserve to get in either.
He's the best second baseman since Ryan Sandberg.
Okay, and Ryan Sandberg wasn't that good. CC Sabathia, to your point, shouldn't get in ahead of Kurt Schilling. But why does he? Because Kurt Schilling has political views that they don't want to vote in. Okay, so great. So then if they don't like somebody's political views, they don't get in. If they did steroids, they don't get in. So we're just going to keep letting all these other guys in. That's why these guys are getting in, Ron. They need to change the mentality. James just said it. Let the best players in, regardless of the label. Let the best players in. These guys have the numbers to get in. They're not going to let them in, and you're going to keep getting average players.
Simple, right?
You're getting average players.
If you're a hitter, you need to have 3,000 hits.
Okay, Ron, let me ask you this question.
Or 500 home runs.
What does it mean to you to have somebody in the Hall of Fame?
They have to be the best players in the league.
Okay, you're getting average players now, which is diminishing the Hall of Fame. To me, it's not as big a thing to get into the Hall now because I don't feel like you're the best players.
But there is also this other clause that they have. Is that clause about the person himself? He has to represent properly.
Santa Claus.
He has to represent in a positive light. You have to be. You have to. You
O.J. Simpson's in the Hall of Fame.
Scum into the Hall of Fame.
O.J. Simpson's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, but that was before he tried to kill somebody.
Take him out. It still represents the Hall.
Right. He should come out.
Guy that bats .312 has 1,831 RBIs and 555 home runs. Doesn't deserve it. You're right. He did steroids. I gotcha. But we'll give these other guys. We'll give these other guys.
Twice.
He's doubled the RBIs. He's got the same batting average and 400 more home runs.
He did it in a way that shouldn't be done, Eric. I don't care.
And now Carlos Beltran won't get in either, right? Because he was part of that cheating scandal. He got 70%.
Beltran shouldn't be in either.
70%. He's the next one to get in. You need 75. He'll get in.
Yeah, but Andrew Jones,
66.2.
I'm not sure Andrew Jones should be in either.
66.2%. Guess who's getting in next year? He's got 2 more years of eligibility. Andrew Jones is getting in.
Look, we're talking about it. This is why we do this.
You have an opportunity to vote for our Sports Unfolded Hall of Fame because we don't care if they did steroids, cheated, didn't cheat, killed people. They're in our Hall of Fame. For the NHL, you can cast your votes right now. Guy Lafleur, Danny Gar.
Gare.
I always say Gar. Danny Gare, Phil Esposito, Bill Barber, Reggie Leach. And for the Olympics, Irene Woost, Lindsey Vaughn, Ding Ning, Shelley Ann Fraser Price, and Marta. You can go to Sports Unfolded Sports Poll page.
And Lindsey Vaughn is still skiing, so don't vote for her.
So you can cast your votes on the Facebook Sports Poll page. and help elect the next inductee into our Sports Unfolded Hall of Fame. You know who's in our Sports Unfolded Hall of Fame, Ron? Pete Rose. Pete Rose, who deserved to be in the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame, but again, because of their rules, he's not in. He's in ours. The man's the hits leader of all time, but we're not going to count that either. All right, Ron, we're going to move on. Andrew Jones next year. When we got to do this story, I'm going to be pissed again, by the way. All right, let's go.
Get used to it.
And let's
vote anybody in now. It's like just pluck them from trees.
That's what they have to do because they're not going to count the good guys.
No, you just vote for the one guy that deserves to be in.
They're obviously they don't feel like it, so they're going to put somebody just to put them.
They get 10 votes. You don't have to use all 10, you idiots.
But they're not going to not vote somebody. That's what I'm saying. Here we go. All right, Ron, let's move on to our split decisions. Moving on.
This is going to spurn some other things.
All right. Our split decision segment, basically, we give each other two more likely questions, and then we have to make a decision. I am first this week, Ron, so I will start us off. Ron, which NBA number one pick is more likely to win a championship first? Cade Cunningham of the Pistons, Paolo Banchero of the Magic, or Victor Wembanyama of the Spurs?
I'll go Victor Wembanyama.
Orlando has a good team.
What?
Orlando's a good team.
Yeah, but I think he's going to win it first.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not going to be the Pistons. Look, hey, who knows? Maybe one of these guys gets traded to a good team.
That's on the table. I didn't say that with their teams.
Right. So Victor is staying in San Antonio. There's a better chance of one of those two guys getting traded to San Antonio and winning it there. Okay. So I'm going to go Victor. I think he's the closest. Orlando's got a good team, but they're not close. They're not close.
Okay. All right. That's fair. All right.
I'll go Victor.
Okay. Your first split decision.
Oh, me. Where do I go from here? All right, let's do football first. Who is more likely to have the most improved defense? Atlanta, who just hired Jeff Ulbrich. Indianapolis, who just hired Lou Agrimo, however you pronounce his name, Algramo.
Sounds like a Sesame Street character. That's like a Sesame Street character. Is that what you made it? What are we doing?
Oh, it sounds more wrestling to me.
It could be Captain El Gramo.
Captain Lou and Grumo. Or Cincy with Al Golden. San Francisco with Robert Saleh.
I'm surprised he didn't get another head coaching opportunity.
Yeah, no kidding. Or New England with Terrell Williams. So there's 5 candidates. Who do you think is going to have the most improved defense?
Robert Saleh and the 49ers.
Yeah.
They have the most talent. He was there before, and when he was there, that's what got him the head coaching job. Yeah, so I could see him just a lot of Captain Insano. Shows no mercy.
Captain Insano.
How old are you, kid?
Hey, where's Danny?
I know, no Danny tonight.
Where is Danny?
But I'm definitely go Ulbrich.
Really?
Yeah. No, Ulbrich, Saleh.
I was like, wait a minute.
Ulbrich was with the 49ers too. That's what I was getting. I'm going Saleh. I think the 49ers have all the talent. I think that's an easy one. I don't even think the other guys really. Listen, I don't know what New England. Terrell Williams, he used to coach Tennessee's. They were okay. They were never a great defense. All right. I like that question, though. That was a good one.
But we couldn't bring back, like, Belichick's kid?
No, I was really hoping Matt Patricia, because then I would have really said they're really trying to run it back, man. They just.
I'm actually surprised it wasn't.
Yeah, you and me both. Let's just keep bringing all the old coaches back except Belichick. All right.
Hey, they could have brought Mayo back for like linebackers.
Yeah, it never. You don't know. It might happen. All right, Ron, my second split decision. NHL. What is more likely? Connor Hellebuck beats the all-time record for goals against, which is a 1.91, ties the record, or he stays at 2.02 and misses the record.
I don't think any of those are going to happen.
You think he's going to go up? He's at a 2.02 right now.
Yeah, it's going to go up. It's not going to go down.
He's doing a hell of a job.
He is. He's a hell of a goaltender.
He's not very far from 1.91.
And he's going to make a hell of a buck.
Hey. But where is Matt Patricia these days? He was in Philly. I don't know if he's actually in the NFL now.
Is he in North Carolina?
No, he isn't. He isn't, though. Belichick did get his staff, too. Freddie Kitchens running their offense, by the way, in North Carolina. Former Cleveland Brown.
I hope there's not too many cooks in the kitchen there.
Oh, nope. That not very good.
It works.
Does it? Did that really?
Just saying.
What does it say? Commanders pull off Matt Patricia move. See what the Commanders.
Why would the Commanders change anything? What are you looking at?
It was a story that came up. Hold on. I'm checking it out right now. The Commanders pull Matt Patricia move ahead of probably just did something. Oh, with the line. Okay. Has a new gig.
Charge of their draft. Could you imagine?
I'm just trying to find Detroit Lions. Okay.
What are you looking up?
I'm trying to see if Matt Patricia is in the NFL.
Who cares?
He just asked.
Who just? He can look it up.
Yeah, I don't think he is.
And then he can tell us.
Yeah, I don't think he is.
All right. So my second split decision.
A ball boy for the Commanders.
A ball boy. So they using deflated footballs.
He'd probably screw that up too.
Stop making fun of me.
It's like, have you seen that Patrick Mahomes commercial where they got the soccer ball, football combo thing?
Terrible.
That's what Matt Patricia would be doing as a ball boy. He'd go, here, try these. Because, yeah, he's really good at trying to make things up. Go ahead.
All right.
Second split decision.
So the Bruins have several free agents at year's end. Who is more likely to be traded at deadline?
Didn't you do this one before?
No.
I swear we did.
No.
Go ahead.
It was just random players in the league.
Mama says you can't play foosball. It's for the devil.
All right. So Justin Brazeau, who makes $775K.
Keep him.
He's unrestricted. He's going to make more than that. Parker Wotherspoon, who makes $800K.
Get rid of him.
Trent Frederick, who makes $2.3 million. Or Brad Marchand, who makes
Marchand's gone.
$125.
It's an easy one. Marchand's gone. This is Marchand's last year with the Bruins. No doubt in my mind. So why not try to trade him?
Get the most for him.
That's what I'm saying. Why not try to trade him?
And it's a big payday. Then you can re-sign Trent Frederick
for less money and still get a quality player. The Bruins need to shake this thing up. Vandersloot. What are we talking about?
Vandersloot.
Parker Vandersloot. I don't even know what he's
Wotherspoon. It's pretty good, but he's an unrestricted free agent.
I will say this. This is the last year with Marchand. I don't want to. I'm done.
I think
they need to make a change. They need to make a change. And listen, I'm not getting rid of not Krejci, Pasternak.
No.
Like we saw this whole transition when Bergeron and Krejci left, and I think Marchand's still part of that group. Like you got to get rid of him.
He's the one thing that they have that they can get a haul for, and a lot.
Taylor Hall,
Right? You can get a first rounder and prospects
Anthony
for
Hall,
Marchand and a current player.
Anthony Hall from 16 Candles.
No, Taylor Hall from the former Bruin.
Hall and Oates. Did you hear they broke up?
Yes,
broke up,
I
Hall and
know.
Oates.
They're suing each other.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
It's a shame.
They're so
Cher
out of
needs
touch.
to pay them a visit too. Snap out of it.
Ron, they're so out of touch. You're out of touch. I'm out of touch. Let's go tonight on Sports Unfolded with all the goofiness.
I'm gonna choke. Oh my God!
I couldn't use man-eater. It just didn't
That
make
was your
sense.
best one in 4 years.
Because man-eater wouldn't have made sense or anything.
Oh,
Private.
that was the best one in
it
4
was.
years, dude.
Like, it wouldn't have made sense. No, Eric, my singing, I know, not very good. I'll stick to just podcasting. All right.
No, but in all fairness, no, you're right. They do need to trade Marchand, and I hate saying it because he's still a great player.
Yeah, but it's time. I think it's time. I think he's lost.
They have to do something to shake this team up.
You know what happened, though, too, Ron? And we're going to move on pretty soon to talk some more NHL. But when he was the rat and he was that agitator, he was so much more valuable to the Bruins. And it's kind of, he's had to pull that back, right? Because of
the worst thing was him becoming captain.
So I just feel like, because now he's the example.
Yeah, so he couldn't do that. He can't do that stuff anymore.
So I think it's
showing.
Time. Let's move on from him. All right. Let's talk some more NHL because the New Jersey Devils, the New Jersey Devils goalie Jacob Markstrom, he's week to week. They're actually saying 4 to 6 now.
Yeah.
The Bruins actually hurt him in their last game.
No. That's their own damn player because he took the feet right out from Brazeau and slid right into him. Now, Bruins got a penalty for that, and that's what caused that collapse.
You're a homer.
I'm not a homer, but it's true.
It's
clear. It's obvious. Like you can see it on the replay.
The rest have something for New Jersey, too. All right. Do you think it's going to affect their playoff chances?
No.
Right?
It'll affect their playoff position, but it won't affect their chances. They'll make the playoffs.
36 games, 2.20 goals against, a 9.12 save percentage. Very good. 3 shutouts.
Very good.
21-9-5 on the season.
Yeah.
Listen, they're 4th in the Eastern Conference, 1 point ahead of Florida. So you already know that Florida's going to take the 3rd overall in the Metropolitan. And he's got the majority of their games, right?
They could possibly hold on to 3rd. I'm not so sure. I think they might end up being a wild card team, which spells trouble for, the black and gold, because now Pittsburgh will have no chance.
I like what you did there. I saw what you did there. So how do they make up for this injury, Ron, until he gets back? What do you think New Jersey's plan would be?
Probably trade for another goaltender.
All right. Well, let's see how the Devils make out, because this is going to be an interesting. This what
they can trade for Corpusalo.
You're trading everybody. Great. You're trading everybody off the Bruins right now.
Oh, I am. Oh, believe me, I'd be working overtime if I was a GM. Lindholm, Elias Lindholm, their new signing, gone. Zadorov, gone.
Okay.
Wotherspoon, gone.
Let's see what happens. All right, Ron. It is time for pick and roll.
It's time for pick and roll.
We are on episode 4 of season 5. That is so crazy to say. And for Pete's sake, For Pete's sakes, that's crazy to say, Ron. But we are pick and roll. We always try to kind of coordinate it with our episode. 4 hits and 4 stolen bases in a game. These were the last 5 players to do it. Ellie De La Cruz, Ichiro, Julio Bourbon, Carl Crawford, and Kenny Lofton. We're going to rank them from 5 to 1. I am first, Ron, so I will start us off. Number 5, Julio Bourbon. Very short career, it seems like. Batted 273, 219 hits, 8 home runs, 112 runs, 76 runs batted in, and 47 stolen bases. 10% of his stolen bases were in that one game. That is pretty crazy to think about. Wow. My goodness.
It was 9%. Come on.
It's pretty damn close, man. Wow. All right, buddy. All right. Well,
what happened to this guy?
I don't know, but he had a game. I'll tell you that. He had a game with 4 hits, 4 stolen bases.
Fantastic game, and you can't make a roster somewhere?
Yeah, that is insane.
Like, how do you not make like a Kansas City Royals roster or a Pittsburgh Pirates roster? How do you not do that?
It's pretty crazy.
How do you not make, an LA Angel roster?
I don't know. All right. At number 4.
Marlins.
Yeah, I don't know. At number 4, just not enough body of work yet. Ellie De La Cruz. He's batting 250 for his career. I'd like to see that number go up a little bit. 251 hits, 38 home runs, 172 runs, 120 runs batted in, 102 stolen bases, and 1 All-Star. But he's number 4.
Yep.
At 3 for me, I didn't realize his numbers are better than I thought. Carl Crawford. And I remember in Tampa, he was really good. And then he came to Boston in that Dodgers thing, and it seemed like it didn't work out too well for him. But his career batted 290, 1,931 hits, 136 home runs, 998 runs, 766 RBIs, 480 stolen bases, a 4-time All-Star, 1-time Gold Glove, and a 1-time Silver Slugger.
Good numbers.
Very good numbers. At number 2, I went Kenny Lofton. 299 batting average, 2,428 hits, 130 home runs, 1,528 runs. Downfall of being a leadoff hitter, you only had 781 RBIs. But when he got on base, he made sure that he brought the runs in. 622 stolen bases, 6-time All-Star, 4-time Gold Glove. But at number 1, Ichiro. 311 batting average, 3,089 hits for his career, 117 home runs, 1,420 runs, only 780 RBIs. But again, leadoff hitter, 509 stolen bases, 10-time All-Star. He won the Rookie of the Year. He's a 10-time Gold Glover, 3-time Silver Slugger, 2 batting titles, and an MVP. I went Ichiro at number 1.
Okay, so at number 5, I also have Bourbon.
Bourbon. If you say it like that, he sounds pretty good. Julio Bourbon. Sounds
it still sounds masculine. Like
sounds masculine. Then you look at his numbers.
He was a gamer.
Julio Bourbon.
A 1 gamer.
You want to
number 4, I also have Ellie De La Cruz.
De La Cruz.
He's had 1 good year so far.
He should change his name to Soul. De La Soul. That would be pretty good. It's the me, myself, and I.
So we'll see if he can run it back next year, if he can get 25 home runs again. Number 3, I also have Carl Crawford. Also have Carl Crawford at number 3.
Good job.
Number 2 and 1 were a little bit difficult. And I know you're looking like, how is this difficult? Well, Ichiro had 9,934 at-bats. That is 1,800 more than Kenny Lofton. $3,089 hits for Ichiro, 24-28 for Kenny Lofton. Needed about 3 more years to play. And I don't know why he retired, but he should have stuck around for 3 more years. If he would have, he'd be a Hall of Famer right now. Kenny Lofton, 130 home runs. Ichiro, 117. Kenny Lofton, 299 batting average. Ichiro, 311. Here's where it starts getting a little different. 1,528 runs for Kenny Lofton. 108 more than Ichiro. 781 RBI, 1 more than Ichiro. And remember, Lofton has a lot less at-bats. 622 stolen bases for Kenny Lofton. Ichiro, 509. Ichiro has 4 more All-Star appearances, an MVP, 6 more Gold Gloves, 2 more Silver Sluggers, and 2 batting titles. And therefore, I went with Ichiro as number 1.
I can't. You dragged that thing out. Very good. Good job. You got it right. What the hell?
I was just pointing out it was a little closer than.
All right, I get you where you were coming
given.
from.
It wasn't like, okay,
all right.
Boom, Ichiro number 1. It was like that, but
okay.
Kenny Lofton was a great player.
All right. No, I got you. All right, my friend. Let's thank some people first before we get into our predictions. I want to thank WDJY 99.1 FM, Dallas, Georgia. You guys have been amazing. We're on every Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as well as 990WBOB.com. Internet radio in Rhode Island. We're on Saturdays at 10 a.m. and SEC TV, Public Access Channel 12 in the Southeast Connecticut. And we are on every Tuesday at 10 p.m. So we want to thank them for all their support as well. Obviously, as well as Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter for what they're able to do to allow us to broadcast every single week to all of you out there. Check out MeWe as well, another great media platform that has done really well for us as well. All right, Ron, it is prediction time. And I'm running out of ideas of what I'm going to have you wear next year. So, I mean, you better step up. Yeah, I better stop talking smack, man. It's 4 weeks in. But what a week last week. Again, 7-3 for this guy, 6-4 for you, Ron. A little tougher for Danny and Kenny, 3-7. James came in at 4-6. If you are live.
Maybe that's why Danny's not around.
Maybe. If you are live and want to join the prediction chart, please give us your picks as we call them out. I know Chakra was on, James is on, Hugo. So give us your picks as we go through and we can get your name added to the chart.
Yes.
All right. So we are starting off, Ron, with the NBA. On the 27th, you got the Houston Rockets at the Boston Celtics. And we talked all about the Boston Celtics and all their struggles and right, they're not playing too well. I think they're going to start to turn it around. This is the game that does it at home when you got Ime Udoka coming back to town. And I think Boston's going to want to show that they are still a force in the East. And I'm going with Boston.
Yeah, I also am going with Boston too, Eric. And for those exact reasons, plus you have a contender coming into town. And you can't afford to lose this one to Houston because then that opens the door for them to have that confidence.
Yeah, right. Exactly. James went Boston. Anybody else out there? The Houston Rockets at the Boston Celtics. Who are you picking? Love to get some more names added to the chart. Hugo joining that chart. All right, Hugo. He's going Boston as well. Another NBA game run on the slate. On the 29th, you get the Denver Nuggets at the New York Knicks. Who do you have?
I've got the Denver Nuggets winning this one, Eric.
Crazy stat, 5 straight triple-double games for Jokic. The man's on fire. I like the Knicks. I like that. I think they're a very good team. They play well at home. But I went Denver as well. I just feel like they're starting to get their mojo going.
Yeah, Jokic is like, hey, enough talk about SGA.
Yeah, and all those guys, right?
No,
I'm the MVP. I'm the true MVP. It's kind of crazy to think about.
Yeah.
But Denver Nuggets at the New York Knicks. Who do you have out there? Denver for James.
He's playing so good. I still don't understand how he's so good.
Right. And he just, if you look at him, he doesn't look like
he looks like athlete, a bowler.
Right? Like he's not an athlete, a bowler, right? Something, right? Curling or something. I don't know. Those guys are pretty athletic.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Hugo, you got a pick out there. Denver Nuggets at the New York Knicks. He's going Denver as well.
Clean sweep. So unless somebody jumps in. Chakra, what you got? Come on, Chakra.
NHL. Got the Florida Panthers at the Vegas Golden Knights. That's on the 26th. I really wanted to go Vegas at home, but Florida's playing well too on the road, and this was a tough one. Florida, they play very tight games. I think it's going to be a close matchup, so I'm going with Florida.
Yeah, I'm going Las Vegas on this one. I think Vegas is too good. Florida really hasn't wowed me. I mean, for them to be keeping it close with the teams that are out there in the Atlantic, I'm taking Vegas on this one.
James went Vegas.
Hey, baby, let's go to Vegas. We're missing Kenny. We're missing
Viva
Danny.
Las Vegas. Hugo went Vegas as well.
Chakra's
all right.
not putting in his 2 cents.
NHL as well, Ron. Carolina Hurricanes at the New York Rangers. That's also on the 26th. What do you have?
Yeah, I'm going Carolina. I just think Carolina right now is got the division, right at the top, and they're not going to let the Rangers up. They're going to keep them down.
Okay. Rangers in their last 10 are like 7-0-3. They have not lost the game. They're starting to figure some things out, and I think the trades have helped them because I think certain guys are playing a little better now based on that because they're a little nervous. So I went the Rangers here. James going Carolina. Hugo going Carolina. All right. NFL, my friend, here it is. NFC Championship game on the 26th this Sunday. The Washington Commanders at the Philadelphia Eagles. I truly think Jaden Daniels is doing some amazing things, but I really feel like the Philadelphia defense is going to create enough problems to make it difficult enough. And Saquon Barkley, who has been on a remarkable tear, will carry the Philadelphia Eagles to the Super Bowl. So I'm going Philadelphia.
See, I think Jaden Daniels is on the verge of doing something special. He has basically carried this team, willed this team into the championship game. And I think it ends here. Philadelphia, better defense, more playmakers on offense. And I think that is the difference in the game. The playmakers are going to make plays.
The two gentlemen,
Philadelphia wins.
Went Washington. Washington and a shocker, James said, and Hugo went Washington as well. So they're both picking Washington on that. Also, this Sunday, AFC Championship game, the Buffalo Bills at the Kansas City Chiefs. Ron, who do you have?
Look, it's going to be an 11-on-12 game.
Oh, boy. There we go.
11-on-12.
Oh, I can't with you. Okay.
So, Buffalo has to play a near-perfect game. They can't take stupid penalties, especially in that fourth quarter. Make sure you videotape everything, so that way you can bring it to the NFL office and say there's something amiss. But with that being said, I don't think anybody is playing better than Josh Allen right now, and I think Josh Allen gets it done. This is the year he gets it done.
The two gentlemen also went Buffalo. We had the great opportunity of watching a quarterback for 20 years mystify and beat all odds all the time. I truly think Patrick Mahomes has something that nobody else has. And until somebody knocks him off that horse, I'm going Kansas City. I just don't see it. I haven't seen anybody else be able to do it. And this year I really thought with, the wide receiver issues and all this stuff it was going to happen, and they played just as well. Really only had one big loss during the season. So I'm going Kansas City. We'll see. Who knows? It'll be fun to watch.
Unos.
Right.
What does Unos have to do with it?
I got to draw 4. That's why. No, on the 25th, so tomorrow, we have some college basketball, men's college basketball. Number 7, Houston Cougars at number 12, Kansas Jayhawks. Listen, even though Kansas is at home, they've had a couple home losses. They are not there. I think they have 3 losses on the season. I went Houston here. I went the Cougars.
Yeah, I'm going Kansas. I'm going to go with Kansas. I'm going to go with their home team here. I've already been the victim of taking the higher seed in men's, and they are not doing anything. So I'm just going to go Oppo, and I'm going to go Kansas City. Kansas, not Kansas City. Ooh.
See, you already got Kansas City on the mind, bro.
No.
The Jayhawks.
This is the Kansas that we're talking about winning.
Hugo, do you have a pick? Hugo's going Houston as well. All right, Hugo. All right, and the last game on our predictions this week, on the 26th, this Sunday, number 1, UCLA Bruins, the Lady Bruins, at number 8, Maryland Terrapins.
So there is a Bruin team that can win.
Austin, thank you for joining. So this is you, my friend. Who do you have?
That's a tough one. I'm going to go UCLA, though.
All right. UCLA, undefeated.
Yeah.
I believe they remain undefeated. Maryland, good team, though. Very good team.
They are a good team.
I'm going the Bruins here.
UCLA, though, is just playing lights out.
Yeah, very good. Very good team.
Austin, get in your picks.
UCLA.
Real quick.
They're both going UCLA as well. All right, clean sweep on that one. All right, Ron. That is our prediction segment. We're going to add Hugo to the chat next week. So, Hugo, tune in next week to see how you made out as well. Cannot wait to continue to see how we stack up against the other 4 different games this week, Ron. So, it'll be pretty interesting to see how we do. All right, Ron, before we get into our final thoughts, I always ask you to give all the wonderful people out there all the information they need to know about sponsoring this great show. Get their name above me on a banner. Get theirself a ad that will be heard. So if you could give them that information.
Yeah, I'd like to get 3 sponsors, and we can line them all up at the bottom in that black space. That would be nice. So you can do that to sponsor the show. Your ad will be here. We will read the ad. So not only will people see it, but it will be heard on the audio version for Spotify, Amazon, Red Circle, and many more. So send us an email at ribroadcasting.media@gmail.com. We can send you out the media kit, and it'll give you all the information. And like I say, Eric, it's just like going to your local coffee shop. And I'm sure there's going to be some strawberry glazed donuts
For
just in
Valentine's Day.
time for Valentine's. And I'm sure they'll have some sort of strawberry latte or something like that for the holidays as well. So you can get both of those, and it would cost you less than that to sponsor the show.
So let's get a sponsor. Let's make sure we can continue to help grow your business as well as you help us grow ours. We, again, thousands of eyes and ears every week on our show. So continue to look for ways to sponsor. We'd love to get some names on our ad there. Ron, we also want to talk about our Sports Unfolded Hall of Fame, as we only have 2 weeks left before we close out the polls and induct our next inductee into the Sports Unfolded Hall of Fame. In the NHL, Guy Lafleur, Danny Gar,
Yeah.
Phil Esposito, Bill Barber, and Reggie Leach. And for the Olympics, Irene Woost, Lindsey Vaughn, Ding Ning, Shelley Ann Fraser-Price, and Martha. So make sure you cast your votes. On the right-hand side, those are all of the inductees in the Sports Unfolded Hall of Fame. You can check that out also on the Sports Unfolded website, and a really nice display of all those athletes on that site. So, Ron, it is final thoughts time, and our final thoughts don't necessarily have to be about anything sports related. Be about anything going on in the world today. I am first this week, so I will start you off with my final thought. This was a great story, and it's very hard for me because I'm not a big fan of the Buffalo Bills and the Bills Mafia. But I heard a great story that I think people need to hear, that sometimes, even in sports, people understand that there are things more important. And the Buffalo fans have raised over $100,000 for diabetes research based on the fact that Mark Andrews, he actually has a foundation called Breakthrough T1D, so type 1 diabetes for children, and the fight to help children beat this disease. And it's because most of the Baltimore Raven fans were basically criticizing Andrews for dropping that pass, blasted him on Instagram and all these things. And the Bills Mafia decided they were going to do a GoFundMe page, and they were just trying to raise basically like $500 to at least donate. Ended up raising $100,000 for that foundation. Sports sometimes brings out good in people too, and I was proud to see that. Listen, it's not their player. It was an opposing player, and realistically could have possibly lost the game. If he had caught that 2 points, they go to overtime, who knows? But they saw how their fans treated him in Baltimore, and these fans in Buffalo stepped up to try to make it a little better because he beat himself up about that. So great job to Buffalo Bills fans. Even as a New England fan, we're not big Buffalo Bills fans, but I thought that was such a great story, and I wanted to share that. So proud of the Buffalo Mafia and the Bills Mafia for that. That's my final thought.
So should I not like Josh Allen as a player?
He's a Bills fan. I mean, listen, where we're at right now, we kind of got to root for other people.
Look, that's a great story. And when you think about it, because that was the one that I was going to use.
I don't know how we do that.
It's all the time. It's all the time. I love this fan gift to what they've done for sports, because look, we've seen it all the time throughout sports. You know, there's always that guy that takes the brunt of the criticism. And as a Red Sox fan, I really know this because we all remember Bill Buckner, who himself was a great defensive player. but it happens. It happens all the time. Every year, there's always somebody. And when it's relentless, they can't seem to put back their careers. And I fear for Andrews for this. And he's a hell of a player. It happens, and I get it. It blew the game. But they are human. And a lot of players never recover from this kind of a thing. And we've seen it every year. Eric, I mean, think about all these things. Bucky Dent hitting the home run. Mm-hmm. How about Eckersley giving it up to Gibson? Yeah, you didn't do your job. But it happens, and I think it's bad that we really criticize, and I do it too. I criticize players all the time. Like, I went years hating Gord Kluzak after being picked number 1 overall and amounted to nothing. What a waste of a pick. But there comes a point in time where, you got to eventually stop the criticism. That's all. That's really what I wanted, because I know what he went through, and I know a bunch of there's a player every year that gets criticized for something, and a lot of those players never make it back to where they were. That's it.
All right. Well, that was our show tonight. I want to thank everybody that joined us live: Chakra, Hugo, James, Austin. You guys were amazing tonight. Thank you for the participation. Hopefully those that have joined live that didn't chime in next week, join us.
Yeah, no.
Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And join the chat. Let us know. We love to chat with our fans. Again, you can listen to us tomorrow at 10 a.m. on 990wbob.com. That is in Rhode Island Internet Radio Station, as well as WDJY 99.1 FM in Dallas, Georgia. And then this Tuesday, SEC TV Public Access at 10 p.m. on Channel 12 in Southeast Connecticut. So all we ask for is that you like, share, follow our show. Check out our social media platforms. Check out the Sports Unfolded website as well for any other information. And make sure you cast your votes for that Hall of Fame. Let's get some of those Hall of Fames. But we will see you next Friday. We'll have a Super Bowl. We'll know who's going to be in. So I'm sure we'll have a lot to talk about there, as well as we prepare for our Super Bowl preview show.
That's right.
I want to thank everyone again. Please like, share, follow our show. Listen to us on our social media platforms, in audio platforms. We will see you next Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And all we ask for every single show is that we get peace on earth.
Have a great night, everybody.